Hello from Southern Ontario, September 30th. I hope you'll stay with me throughout this whole video before you get mad at me and call me a turncoat or something. But I was listening to Jane Snarf the other day, and she brought to light some points that have been percolating in the back of my cranium a little bit here, so I'm going to use the term Supposition Island. Join me on Supposition Island. Now, one thing that Jane was talking about that I'd questioned all along is why Tamara and Chris and their defense team chose a trial by judge and not by jury. To my way of thinking, especially in these times right now in Canada, I'd feel a lot better being judged by a jury of my peers than what I would by a judge that I might, Supposition Island, fear has been influenced adversely to my cause, were I in Chris and Tamara's case, or situation, I should say. Jane makes a good point there. I've wondered about that. Jane goes on further to say that the defense she questions because they're using the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and not the Bill of Rights as the legs of their defense. My terminology, not Jane's. I'm not trying to quote or paraphrase her. So, sorry, distracted by what's happening there. So, anyways, had they chosen the Bill of Rights as their defense, it would have to come to light to the court that the Emergencies Act was not legal in the sense of being, again, my phraseology here, it did not go through proper parliamentary procedure as written in the bill. Its very enactment was not legal. And further, Jane points out that the charges and the way that Chris and Tamara were charged were as written in the Emergencies Act. They shouldn't have been charged in the first place. Side note, Trudeau has rewritten a couple of lines in the Emergencies Act since. This is a problem, but it's another subject matter. So, those 2 points that Jane brought up, I've kind of questioned all along too, but, you know, I'm thinking here on Supposition Island, what do I know about the law? Well, Jane knows some. Anyways, Jane goes on further to say, and at this point, I'm not saying I'm in agreement with her, but I will touch on it in the summation of this video. She says she thinks that Chris and Tamara have struck a crooked deal. And in a nutshell, condensed form, it's a kangaroo court. They've struck a deal, and they're just launching their political careers, and that they shouldn't have been trusted all along. You know, really Reader's Digest summation there of Jane's words. Now, I won't go as far as to say I agree with Jane on that. I don't. Although I do, here on Supposition Island, wonder if the men in black may well have not shown up at their doors, Chris and Tamara that is, and said, well, look, the regime can give you 10 years hard time, or pretty much whatever they want. Or you can work with this deal where the public will be complacent that there was a perception of a fair trial, and you don't spend 10 years breaking rocks. Well, put yourself in their shoes. I know I'd yield on that one. I'd say, well, okay, you know, what's the deal? Time served, maybe some probation, maybe I get my channel shut down. I mean, I certainly wouldn't. And again, Supposition Island, I'm not saying that that is what happened, and I'm not saying I agree with Jane's point of view either. But I do think there's some kangaroo business in this court, in that everyone spectating it, and I don't mean just Patriot Smoothie there, boots on the ground. I've been watching a lot of different perspectives. The Canadian Constitution Foundation, is it? Like, you know, people who have some training in the law. Everyone from somebody like myself or Patriot Smoothie or some people with various degrees of legal education, I'll say, all question the prosecution. I'll summate by the examples of the videos that the prosecution presented at the very start of the trial. You'd think they were the defense's prosecutions. There's Chris and Tamara time and again saying, I'll say the right things. You know, be peaceful, cooperate with the police, etc., etc. You've probably seen the videos. And the only violence shown in the prosecution's videos presented to the court are the cops, you know, wailing on people. So is it really just a kangaroo to placate us? Well, Supposition Island, all of it, isn't it? Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want to bite my head off, well, yeah, you're free to. Again, I still think Chris and Tamara really are heroes, hero and heroine, and, you know, are on the altar as sacrificial lambs. But there are two sides to every story.